Have you ever wondered why some people can learn things almost effortlessly? Like this kid resolving a Rubik's Cube in under 10 seconds, or these kids calculating hundreds of numbers in a short period of time, while you don't even remember the last video you watched on TikTok. It's not intelligence, it's not talent. It's simply understanding how your brain likes to learn. Today, I want to show you a practical, science-based way to learn anything faster. Whether it's cooking, a language, an instrument, or a new career skill. No hype, no pressure tactics. Just real methods that work in the real world. Before we talk about techniques, you need to understand something simple but powerful. Your brain has two memory systems that work together when you learn: short-term memory and long-term memory. Short-term memory is your temporary workspace. It can only hold a few pieces of information at a time, and it fades quickly, sometimes within seconds. Long-term memory is where real learning happens. Skills, habits, muscle memory, vocabulary, recipes. Anything you remember over time lives here. The frustration most people feel when learning comes from trying to use short-term memory for tasks that should be moved into long-term memory. Learning feels hard not because you're bad at it, but because you're putting the right information in the wrong place. So the real art of learning is simply, how do we move ideas from short-term to long-term efficiently? That's what the rest of the video is about. Now that the foundation is clear, we can move on to the practical method. Step 1. Break the skill into micro skills. Your short-term memory can't swallow a big idea whole, but it can digest small pieces. Let's take learning how to cook, for example. Learning how to cook is not one singular skill. It's holding a knife correctly, understanding heat, timing, seasoning, preparing ingredients. When you give your brain one tiny, clear objective, it doesn't feel overwhelmed, and each micro skill becomes a stepping stone into long-term memory. Step 2. Use active learning plus visual association. This step is where most people dramatically speed up their learning. Passive learning, just watching or reading, only activates short-term memory. It fades fast. Active learning, using the information, moves it into long-term memory. One of the strongest active learning tools is visual association. Here's how it works. Your brain is exceptional at remembering images and stories. So if you want to remember a step, a concept, a technique, link it to a vivid mental image, even if the image is strange. For example, if you're learning anatomy, you might connect each muscle to a specific visual symbol. If you're learning geography, imagine each country having a personality or color. The stranger the image, the more your brain will hold on to it. If you want to remember the order, heat the pan, add oil, then ingredients. You might imagine 3 characters lining up in that order waiting to enter a room. It doesn't need to be logical. It just needs to be visual and memorable. This is how memory champions memorize hundreds of items. They don't rely on logic, they rely on imagination. Step 3. Short, clean, deep focus sessions. To make these associations even more powerful, the way you structure your practice matters. Your brain learns faster in short, focused bursts, not long marathons. Try 20 minutes of single-task concentration, one tiny goal, no notifications, no multitasking. For example, if you're learning public speaking, practice just one part of your introduction for 20 minutes of deep focus, then take a little break and come back at it later. If you're learning fitness, perfect one movement, like your squat form, for 15 minutes. Deep learning happens when your attention isn't scattered. When you give your brain a clean window, it converts short-term information into something more stable. Step 4. Spaced repetition. If you want information to survive, your brain needs to revisit it at the right times. The simple schedule is: practice today, light review tomorrow, quick refresh in 2 to 3 days, another touch-up in a week. You're basically telling your brain, this matters, keep it. Spacing feels effortless, yet it's the single most powerful way to move skills into long-term memory. Let's take all of this and apply it to learning how to cook as a real-life example. Day 1. Knife skills. Break it down. Grip, Stability. Basic cuts. Use visual association. Imagine each knife technique as a character with its own personality. It sounds silly, but your brain will never forget it. Practice for 15 to 20 minutes. You don't need to master it. You just need exposure. Day 2. Heat awareness. Watch how oil moves. Listen to the sound of onions hitting the pan. Notice how steam behaves. Visual association helps here too. Give each heat level a color or a symbol. Your brain loves sensory anchors. Day 3. Staple foods. Rice, pasta, eggs. These teach timing and texture. Try to picture the perfect outcome in your head before cooking it. Mental rehearsal primes long-term memory. Day 4. Seasoning basics. Salt, acid, fat, sweetness. Pick a visual for each. For example, imagine them as members of a team. When one is missing, the team feels incomplete. Suddenly, flavor balancing becomes intuitive. Day 5. Cook one simple dish. Maybe a stir-fry or a simple pasta. You'll use your knife skills, your heat control, your seasoning knowledge. You're naturally connecting micro skills into a larger sequence, which is how long-term memory organizes itself. Day 6. Light review. Cook the same dish again. Notice what improved automatically. That's your brain-building long-term pathways. Day 7. Try a new dish. Not to challenge yourself, but to recycle the same techniques in a new context. This cements the skill. In 7 days, you're not becoming a chef. You're becoming someone who can learn any skill this way. I think I've said the essential part, and if I forget any methods to learn, tell me in the comments. I hope everything I said will be useful in your everyday life. And don't hesitate to subscribe if you want to be better as a person.